Welcome to Chicago, a city known for its deep dish pizza, sports, and notably weather. Today we are all talking about how Chicago's weather sucks. Just kidding, it's not really that bad, but we're going to talk about it. All right, guys, let's chat. Weather is such a funny thing. In my comment section, I get so many people who constantly are saying that they could never ever move to Chicago because of the weather. Other than like a small handful of places, you're going to get bad weather just about everywhere. Anywhere in the northern part of the United States, you're going to be dealing with snow and winter. Anywhere in the southern states, you're going to get really hot temperatures at some point in the year. Places with humidity, extremely dry heat. Everywhere has got their own thing. For me personally, as someone who moved here from Arizona, where it was basically unlivable for half the year because of how hot it would get, the Chicago weather does not frighten me at all, and I've come to learn that I love the seasons, and I think it's one of the best things about the city. But because everybody likes to yap at me about it so much, and so many people like to tell me that I'm absolutely psychotic for living in this place, I decided to make a whole video talking to you about the Chicago seasons. Let's go ahead and jump in with the season that everyone wants to talk about, winter. I feel like the actual winter temperatures are starting to kick in end of November, beginning of December now, and they kind of go until March. As I'm filming this video, it's middle of November, and we have had such a mild fall. We have not had any snow yet. It's been really mild temperatures. We've had some glorious, beautiful days in the 70s, like in October and November. Right now, it doesn't feel bad at all. But I do know winter is coming, and when it does, she comes with a force. Chicago winters can have everything from extremely cold temperatures to blizzards and snowstorms and polar vortexes when the city wants to. I looked it up for this video because I think everybody thinks it's worse than it is. Average temperature for Chicago winters is somewhere between 20 degrees Fahrenheit to 35 degrees Fahrenheit, which honestly, it's not that bad. Those are like totally livable temperatures. The days that I find to be really brutal is whenever it hits anything underneath 20, like the 18s, the 15s, the 10s get cold. Like you will notice the 10s, but everything from the 20s to the 30s, it's fine. It really is. And anything above like 33, you're gonna be like, this feels unseasonably warm. The swings in temperature are a lot more mild than I feel like people actually think. When I first visited, it was all of 5 degrees outside when I got out of the airport, and I was like, I don't think I can do this. Little did I know that was basically like a bad day in a season, and that's not what the season is like all season long. We don't have a ton of snow in Chicago, and when we do get snow, it generally doesn't stick for that long. All of the sidewalks are gonna be salted and all of the streets get plowed. It's still really easy to get around the city when we get really heavy snow. Other than that, I have definitely been here for my fair share of blizzards. I know that it affects suburbs more, but downtown, it's really not that bad. However, there is something so fun about getting caught in a blizzard. Alex and I got caught in a blizzard when we were doing a staycation in Lincoln Park a couple years ago, and just the extreme weather, I love it. I love extreme weather. I think it is so fun. With winter, you also get things such as ice skating in Millennium Park, which is such a fun activity. There's so many holiday markets and winter pop-ups and things. Winter is not a boring, horrible time to be in the city. I love Chicago winters, honestly. My least favorite season is the one we will come to next, and that would be spring. Spring would be everything from March to May, I'd say. I'd say in June you do start to consider it summer, but spring is everything March to May. And honestly, that is my least favorite time to be here, and I wish I could leave every single spring. You get everything from a beautiful 65-degree day one day, and then the next day it could snow. And I will tell you, after living in the dark and the cold, once it hits springtime, you are so desperately ready for the tulips to bloom and for it to just be like beautiful outside and the sun be warm and the birds be chirping, and you'll get a day like that, and then this weather will just come and smack you in the face and it'll snow the next day. And that is like a type of low that I cannot even express. The amount of sadness that comes to me when I get hit with a snowy day right after a beautiful day, I can't trust spring. She's a liar and she's manipulative, and I don't like her. I particularly have a hard time with it because everything's blooming. I get really bad allergies. So not only am I like sad that the weather is like super transitional, but I also just cannot breathe through my nose, and that sucks. Average temperatures in springtime in Chicago range from 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And I would say that's accurate. Springtime is also when we'll get the most rain and more windy weather. However, my thing is, I love snow. I think snow is beautiful. It is fun. If it's snowing outside, it does not bother me. I hate rain. Rain gets you wet. and then you go inside out of the rain and you are still wet. If you're walking through a snowstorm, if you go inside and take off your parka, you're dry. You're not soaked through. Umbrellas, don't trust them. Carry one, it's a good idea, but so often, like, your entire lower half is gonna be wet. Depending on how windy it is when it's raining, the rain is just gonna come up underneath your umbrella anyways. I really, really just don't like spring. A few of the good things about spring, everything's blooming, so that's really nice. You'll also have all of the restaurants and breweries and coffee shops and things pulling out their patio furniture for the first time in the year. And there is something so magical about your first meal outside and being able to enjoy sitting on a patio again when all of the patio furniture has been removed for so long. You start to get apartment complexes opening up their pools. All of the bridges downtown open up so that way the sailboats can go out to the harbors. There is just something really exciting about feeling life come back into the city after the winter chill and seeing as we are transitioning into summer. This is a very random tip. I do highly recommend getting a pair of like some sort of like faux leather pants, because on rainy days, if you have on those faux leather pants with a raincoat and an umbrella, you are virtually waterproof from top to bottom, and it does make a very big difference. Whereas like regular jeans or anything, you're just gonna be soaked through and you will be cold. Coming into summer, there is absolutely nothing and no better place on earth to be than Chicago in the summer. If you ask anybody who lives here, we will all tell you that Chicago summer is just the best thing to have ever existed. The city just comes to life. People are flocking outdoors. All of the parks are filled. People are biking along the lakefront. They're jumping into the lake. They're riding their roller skates. It is just such a vibrant place to be, and everyone is so excited to be here that like there is truly nothing better than Chicago in the summer. We do get a little bit of humidity on certain days, but honestly, it's not bad. It is nothing like being in more of the southern states, and it's not consistent. Like we'll only have a couple bad humid days, and the rest of the time, Chicago summer is just perfect. Our average temperatures in Chicago are between 70 to 90 degrees, which is just like, that's just what you want on a summer day. You can expect like clear blue skies, beautiful sun, maybe a slight breeze coming off of the lake, but Chicago summer is just absolutely elite. I will say one thing that's been really interesting for me, you do get a lot of like summer rainstorms that roll through. Personally, I think that they're really, really fun, but it does kind of make it hard to plan throughout your day because these summer storms will blow through so quickly and you won't have any time to prepare for it. You may get stuck on a street corner and get hit with a Chicago summer storm. I've gotten absolutely drenched within like a 2-minute period, whereas like the 10 minutes leading up to it were clear blue skies and you would have never been able to anticipate it. It is just one of those things that comes with a Chicago summer. Honestly, I'd say that that's only for like June and maybe the beginning of July, and then they kind of stop. But at least downtown, we don't have a ton of the like scary tornadoes as you do in, I know some of the suburbs get hit a lot more and more trees will go down and stuff, but like downtown, I feel pretty safe and I just kind of get to experience the fun of these extreme storms. Other things to note with summer, every restaurant is going to have their doors and windows open. They're going to have their patios set up. You're going to have a ton of festivals like Lollapalooza, Taste of Chicago. There is so much going on. You'll have yoga in the parks, movies being played in the park. Everyone's trying to go to the playpen. There is so much to do in a Chicago summer. It is truly exhausting because you're going to want to take advantage of all of it because it's only there temporarily. And that's one of the things that makes having the seasons in Chicago just so fun. My personal favorite, I truly think that there is absolutely nothing better than riding a bike up the lakefront trail in summertime. That to me is the most quintessential, perfect Chicago activity. And it's so beautiful. This last year I got really into running, so running was really fun. However, I will say I liked running in spring more than summer just because summer got a little bit hot. But regardless, everyone wants to be outside. It is beautiful. If you can't tell, I'm very, very passionate about this. I love, love, love Chicago summer. And now rounding out the 4 seasons into my very personal favorite, and that would be fall. I love fall. I love that there's a real fall here. It's gorgeous. People go apple picking. Everyone wants an apple cider donut. The leaves all change colors. It's like the whole city is cast in like golden hour for an entire season, and it's just so magical and cozy. The perfect fall days are when the air has a chill and you can feel like the wind is starting to change and it's not the warm summer air anymore, but the sun is still so warm, and so you can have the coolness of the air while the warm sun is on you. I miss it already. It is the absolute most magical feeling in the entire world, and I love it so much. Average temperatures in fall range from 45 degrees to 70 degrees, so it is one of the bigger ranges that we kind of get all year round, but it just feels transitional in like the coziest, most lovely possible way. It's funny how I hate spring so much, and I'm so obsessed with fall. The biggest downfall with fall is that it is such a short season, and really it transitions into winter so much quicker than we expect. This last year, I feel like our fall didn't even start until October. Like summer was really, really hot all summer long, which was lovely. And then October was kind of 50-50. We had like quite a few like still really warm days. We could start to feel like the temperature's cooling. And now that we're in November, even though I would have expected that this would be kind of more of our winter feeling months, it still felt like fall. But I have a feeling winter is gonna come and again, just smack me in the face so hard, and I won't have expected it, and fall will be over very quickly, if not even possibly already. It's raining and I'm considering that this might be it. I think that's one of the things that makes me love fall though, because it's such a short season, it just leaves you longing for more. I would love fall to be a longer season. It is just my absolute favorite. I love scary movies. I love lighting a fire in my fireplace. I love fall. It makes this my whole personality. I also love dressing in fall. Winter outfits, you're just there for survival. You've got your parka on, you've got your beanie, you're just trying to survive. Summer, it's hot. You gotta try and look good while wearing as minimal clothing as possible because it's very, very hot. And then fall, bring out the cute outfits, bring out the scarves and the layers and the boots. I love it. I did reach out to my followers on Instagram and I asked them what would be some of their tips that they would want to share for somebody who is wanting to know more about the seasons in Chicago. So I want to rattle off a couple of these for you right now because these people are incredibly helpful and have so much insight that I always forget to share. One big overarching theme is that yes, Chicago is cold, but everybody knows how to handle it. When it comes to Chicago winter, make sure you get a good coat. It doesn't need to be an expensive one. Mine was less than $200 from Uniqlo and I have used it for 5 years. You're going to want a good coat. You're going to want to keep your ankles covered, but other than that, people still exist and fully live their lives. In the wintertime, it is totally fine, and it really is not as cold as people will say it is. I promise you that it is not that bad. This other person said, it's far more important to stay warm and layer rather than overspend on a luxury coat. Agree. Appropriate layers for clothing. This one says you can get around to a lot of places in the loop indoors via the pedway. I'd love for people to comment down below. Is this something that people do? Because I literally never utilize the pedway, even though I know it's there, and I wonder if I should. Maybe I should be a pedway girl. Just exploring the pedway in general. Yeah. What myself and all of my followers want you to know is that Chicago is a beautifully magical place to be. The summers are worth it. The winters are not that bad. Living summer with seasons has been one of the best things. Chicago just overall is worth it. I'm gonna go make myself a cup of fall harvest tea to really embrace the last of my fall feels that I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.